morning, Good Friday morning. I'm wearing my Ottawa hat this morning. Ottawa, Canada, great city. Been there, love it. A very clean city. If you ever get a chance, you should go to Ottawa, Canada. Friday morning, it is indeed Friday morning, folks, and I am up quite early. It is 6 o'clock. I would normally be heading off to school now, but I'm not. I'm home suffering from this really bad hip that I have, and in a later clip I'll explain all that to you. But for now, folks, we have to get those garbage containers out to the curb, and while we're doing so, we'll have a chat about today's weather. It is a cold one. Just one garbage container this morning, folks, to take out to the curb, and here we go. Let's take the garbage container out to the edge of the road. Not a lot of snow around. However, the temperature this morning, get this now, the temperature this morning is a minus 19 degrees Celsius and feels like a minus 29 with the wind chill. A minus 19 degrees Celsius is a minus 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. I did the Google check and the conversion. So there you have it. Our garbage container is out to the curb for today, and Mr. Garbage Man will come by and empty that, and somebody will take it back to the house. But as I said, quite cold this morning. The snow was crunchy under my feet, as you can hear, and I'm heading back inside. As I said, I'm not going to school today. I'm suffering from an illness in my hip, and I'll be explaining that in the next clip. So you're going to want to stay and watch that explanation. And you're going to want to listen to why Mr. Garry has been home for the past couple of weeks from school. Lots of information in this video, in the next few clips, that will explain that to you. I did do a little bit of clearing away out here yesterday, though. I did manage to spend a few hours out here behind my house, behind my garage and out by the cookhouse. We haven't been using this lately, of course, because I haven't been well enough to be out here. So there you have it. Heading back inside now, and I'm going to rest and take it easy on my hip. It is, as I said, around 6 a.m. in the morning, and I would normally be up and I will be heading off to school right now and enjoy my commute, but I'm not doing that. But listen to the explanation in this video, and we'll chat again, folks. We will chat again indeed. See you very soon. Well, good morning, folks and friends of GBL, the Old Church 5-Acre Homestead. It's Garry here. It's Thursday morning, quite early. It's around 7 a.m. this morning. I'm not going off to school today. Instead, though, I'm going for my orthopedic surgeon appointment that I've been waiting on for quite some time now. Most of you who have subscribed to our channel and have been watching our videos know that Mr. Garry is suffering from a really bad hip, and that it looks like I will be having a hip replacement surgery sometime very soon. Please God, because I have been in a lot of pain and not able to sleep. Yesterday, I was at the hospital as well yesterday morning quite early, and I had an MRI appointment. So that went well. I'll tell you more about that later in this video. And now, though, I need to start up my truck so I can head off to the hospital here in Gander. There's Mr. Garry's Silverado with 316,000 kilometers on her now. Let's get her started. I just want to tell you the temp today. It is a minus 11 degrees Celsius. With the windshield, it's feeling like a minus 22. And of course, a minus 11 degrees Celsius is around 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get that truck started up, shall we? Takes a little while. Now, I'm going to go back inside for a few, and when I come back out, hopefully the truck will be warmed up a little bit, and I can get on the go for my orthopedic surgeon appointment at the hospital very soon. Hi folks, as promised, Garry here. I'm back for my orthopedic surgeon appointment. But before I go any further, here's what I want to say. I want to say a comment or two to our faithful YouTube subscribers, to our friends who tune into our channel all the time, and to all of you who've left so many great comments lately about my health and all that kind of stuff and concerned. And I appreciate that so very much. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all those great get well, good wishes from all of you. That is so very much appreciated. So, at my appointment today, I was diagnosed with hip bursitis. You can go check that out. I will leave a link in the video description of this video for you to check out and go watch a few videos to find out what that is all about. It is a disease that causes a lot of pain and discomfort in the hip, and in my case, my left hip. Okay, so over the next little while, I'm going to be doing some exercising and doing some treatment for that hip bursitis. In addition to that, all of the paperwork was filled out this morning for a hip surgery. Not sure when it's going to happen, not sure when it's going to take place, but cross fingers. I got to use my mouth to help me cross my fingers because I'm holding the phone with the other hand. I've got to try to keep a sense of humor, folks. But cross my fingers, it will happen sometime soon so that I don't have to wait too long for that surgery, and maybe during the spring and during the summer I can recoup and get well and move on with the things that I like to do and like to enjoy, like my gardening, like my homesteading. So I got to get back at that. Now, also in the previous clip, I revealed that yesterday I had an MRI. I did indeed. I went to the hospital yesterday morning quite early as well, and I had an MRI appointment. The purpose for that was, and I had an MRI on my brain, on my head, and it was to try to figure out what's going on with my hearing loss. I have 25% hearing loss in my left ear, and the doctors are trying to figure out what's causing it. They think it might have something to do with the structural, maybe some structural damage to my ear canal and that side of my head and that kind of stuff. So hopefully that will get solved over the next little while. The results of that is going to be sent to my family doctor, and he'll get that in about 2 weeks' time. So it's a 2-week waiting process now, I guess, to see what the results of the MRI is. So a couple of good things happened over the last couple of days with respect to my health. It is moving forward, so that's a good thing. And again, before I conclude this particular clip, I want to say thank you all for those great comments, for those get well wishes. You are very faithful to Miss Betty and I here on our YouTube channel, and we thank you so very much from the bottom of our heart. We're not going to forget that. We are not going to forget that for a long time. We appreciate you so very much, folks. Thank you again. All right, folks, so rather than Mr. Garry try to explain to you what bursitis is, a quick YouTube search, YouTube indeed, I was able to find this video from Dr. Michael Ellman explaining the condition that I was diagnosed with yesterday. Let's watch.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about bursitis. So bursitis is actually an inflammation of the bursal sac, is the technical definition for it. And what it technically means is that the bursa, which is, we actually have hundreds of them throughout our body, they kind of act like oil or WD-40 throughout our body, and they allow multiple different structures to rub over each other in a rather frictionless fashion. And when the bursa gets inflamed, it kind of turns into rocks. And so you have two very tight structures or muscles or tendons rubbing over bone, and the bursa lives in between. And when the bursa turns into rocks, frankly, it hurts, and patients have a lot of pain. And when patients come into my office and they specifically say, I have pain on the outside of my hip, not really the front of the hip, not really the back of the hip, but the side of their hip, it's pretty common. By far the most common diagnosis is what we call trochanteric bursitis. And essentially you have a bone, on the outside of that bone, you have a bursa, and on the outside of that bursa, you have what we call an iliotibial band, the IT band. It's kind of like a tight rubber band. When that rubber band gets too tight, and I see it all the time in runners, I see it all the time in patients who come in with pain for long periods of time and they have gait imbalance or muscle imbalance about their hip, you can get a bursitis. The bursa can get inflamed, you get underlying rocks in there, and it hurts. What it typically involves is a course of physical therapy to work on rebalancing of the muscles about the hip, stretching out the IT band. It also involves injections. I'll typically start with a cortisone injection, which is a steroid, taking a bunch of Advil and just pounding it right into that bursa. And what it does is it really dissolves those rocks, kind of creates that oily substance again, and recreates normal anatomy. Gives people significant pain relief. If we have to do 1 or 2 injections, that's fine. It typically takes patients anywhere between a couple weeks to a couple months to get significant pain relief from non-operative treatments.